All right, so the Patriots have their offensive line coach, and I am actually pumped. This is the first like real big news, the offseason that I've been really happy about. Scott Peters is a legitimate offensive line coach, worked under Bill Callahan, who's arguably the best offensive line coach in the game. When he left, I thought Peters was going to be the obvious heir apparent there. I guess not. We were able to get him. I don't care what the situation or how he got. I'm just happy he's here for the Patriots. Honestly, I think it was like 2014, so like about a decade ago. First time I ever saw anything for Scott Peters. Coach Wiley's Cool Clinics. It was awesome. He did something on. I got the notes. Hand combat for O-line. And I just remember coming out of that and talking with the staff, and we got a jiu-jitsu guy to come in to work with offensive line. Well, anybody who wanted to work with him, and the whole entire athletic department, athletes, and every athlete that went in there loved it. Basically, I tried doing it a couple times; it was fun, but really big hire in my opinion. Learned a lot from watching him over a few other cool clinics, and it's a first thing that it kind of gave me some hope that our young offensive linemen that we've drafted over the last couple of years are going to get solid coaching. Not that the coaching has been bad, it's just some the circumstances, right? Health and injuries and all these other things that have occurred. That this could be kind of a clean slate for that group, and another thing that's kind of being, I think, overlooked. I'm not really sure. I haven't done too much reading on what the media's response to this, besides that he's from the Browns and, worked with Bill Callahan type of thing. But he worked with the East-West Shrine Bowl. He was offensive line coach. I don't know what team it was, and I don't know. I have to take a look at the roster that he was working with and who it would be. But the Patriots are going to probably need at least 2 offensive tackles and maybe even, another guard or tackle this year, depending on how things go in terms of free agency. But he's worked with those guys now. And that's typically your Shrine Bowl is you're going to get, day 2 guys. Maybe it might be a first rounder here or there, but a good chunk of it's obviously day 3. And he was working with those guys. He'll know who was able to respond to his coaching, his techniques, and his system, which is going to be critical because we need that second offensive line pick to really hit this year. It might not, maybe that guy might not be a day 1 starter, but that guy needs to quickly become a legitimate depth piece and possibly a starter as fast as possible. And this guy can at least give us some insight of who's good out of that group. And if you've been following, this offensive line group is better than the last 5 years in terms of the top, and in terms of depth. I've gone back. I can't find really any, like a decade, you might find as much great offensive line talent. There are going to be guys that probably last year could have gone in the 4th or 5th round as a tackle. They're going to be UDFA this year, right? I mean, this draft was so loaded that some of the studs that were their first year, like this is their first year eligible, right? Decided to go back. They were almost forced to go back to another year. Like some of the top talents, guys that were probably, thinking they were going to be first round talents that were getting shoved down as 3rd round projections because of how deep this class is. And I'm not just talking tackles. I'm talking in almost every position. Obviously, there's some stronger years at certain positions, but not comprehensively in a lot of positions. It's a very, very deep class. And next year will be deeper than expected just because of the amount of guys that kind of are like, I don't want to be a 4th round pick. I want to be a 1st. So next year will be good. But anyway, back to the offensive line here. Again, it's going to be critical for getting that group turned around, getting everybody on a solid footing, getting a system in place, which I don't think it's going to be a dramatic change. This guy's worked under Callahan, so he obviously, and he's an established coach himself. Like, this guy knows what he's doing. We're in good hands, guys. Like, this is you can be happy about this hire. There's no more like, what are we doing, right? You can be wondering what's going on at wide receiver. You can wondering what's going on, quarterbacks and just the offensive play calling and all that stuff. Even on the defensive side of the ball, you can wonder about what's going on in special teams. But the offensive line has a dude. They have a dude. What is this? Oh yeah, tip of the spear, right? Yeah, I forgot that's what he works. Yeah, that's his like I think it's his business, but he at least works with them. Oh yeah, so getting your hips low. Oh, he's gonna pop his hips into this and hit it. Yeah, so this is about hip extension. So when I talk about and I mention like how good, like important it is to have a good clean, like the actual like Olympic lift movement, this is why. You notice how he's keeping his elbows tight. We would used to give the guys a 45-pound plate, and obviously we wouldn't use a post. We use the uprights on a squat rack. I'll still do it. I'll do that at the gym, and people look at me like, "What am I like, doing that against the squat racks? Like, what are you doing?" It's awkward, but it works. But yeah, see, like they have that tied, so you keep your elbows nice and tight. We would just give them a 45-pound plate. They're much bigger than those guys, so a 45-pound plate, you know, like a guy who's like 6'6", 6'7", no problem. It's having the 45-pound plate's not too wide for them. But anyway, again, let's just bring it back. Great hire. Things are going to be working. Cole Strange finally gets a guy to work with. Again, the rookies last year getting somebody to work with. Hopefully, you know, some of the senior veteran athletes in-house can, adapt to his teaching. I think that won't be in his system and techniques. I don't think it's going to be a big deal. Yes, we still need to figure out what's going on here, but yeah, the running backs is actually a legitimate thing. I'm not sure who we'd bring in there. Maybe, hopefully there's somebody that's an assistant that has been a running backs coach. You get somebody there, and then hopefully maybe there's some sort of alumni that might want to come in and help you out there. Somebody that's interested in being a coach. Maybe Rex Burkhead would be a good idea. But anyway, yeah, so be happy. You can be excited about this one. It's a step in the right direction, and it's probably obviously maybe not the most important hire, but one of them. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed. If you like this content, you like the updates, please subscribe. And as always, thanks for watching.